All right, hey, it's David Shelton, broker at Century 21 Advantage. I'm with you today, bringing you another episode of Real Value on the state capitol steps with Alicia, who's the interim CEO with the Chamber of Commerce here in Pierre, South Dakota. Let's give it up for Alicia.
Yeah, thanks for coming out and filming this part for our
Thank you.
area.
Thank you. So Alicia's only been on this job 1 month.
Yes.
So we're not going to go real
Not
deep,
hard questions
right?
today.
She's a former school teacher, middle school and high school here in Pierre.
Yes.
Right? And you're, how long have you been in this neck of the woods?
Almost 7 years. Our family moved here about 7 years ago.
Okay, where'd you move from?
We moved from Scottsbluff, Nebraska, right
Okay.
on the
Yeah.
borders of Wyoming and Colorado.
Yeah. Love
So,
Scottsbluff.
yeah.
Yeah. So were you in cattle or anything, just like live in town?
Yeah,
You
live
were a
in
town kid?
Well, growing up,
Yeah.
I was a Coast Guard kid, but we
Oh, wow.
went to Scottsbluff because my husband was the director of the Y, or he was a director of the Y there, and he's the CEO of the Y here. So
Sweet.
that's what brought us.
Sweet. So the YMCA?
Yes.
The YWCA, is that?
Oahu Family YMCA here.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. That's awesome.
Yep.
So a little bit about Alicia, a little bit about her family and her background. So we're here in Pierre, and we were just talking before we went on camera about just the kind of the state of things. The Chamber of Commerce is doing well,
Yes.
attracting business,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Helping local businesses grow.
Yeah, we're always excited to see new businesses. We've had a couple of new businesses even join the chamber recently, so business is great. We have a great supportive business community here, loyal business community that really does work to support. They're definitely a part of our tight-knit community here.
So it's not like you're going to compete with me, so stay out of town.
No,
It's a big warm embrace.
Absolutely, because
Yeah.
the more business we have, the more opportunities we have to serve the visitors that we get to Pierre, and we get
Yeah.
a lot of tourism and visitors, so it's really important that we have all the businesses in town that we can get.
Yeah, that's good. I'm in commercial real estate as well as farm and ranch and selling homes and property management. So we have this big diverse company, but I know that on our commercial side, it's really about getting the right businesses, a concentration of the right businesses together to attract a greater number of people to those combined businesses. And there's actually I forget the term now, but there's like a synergy that happens. Used to be like if like a Walgreens would come into a town or drugstore would come into town, they want to control the intersection. But now, and it's been shown that like if there's another drugstore across the street, they will both actually do better than they would if there was just one of them there, because you're bringing more traffic,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
So it's interesting how that you mix uses together,
Yes.
and you look at what a community has, and then what it needs, and
Absolutely.
then what it needs to grow.
Absolutely.
Right? And so Pierre, oftentimes the capital of a state, has an interesting influx of part-time residents, like
Yes.
during session, right?
And during the first part of the year,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
Our dynamics change a little bit.
Yeah, it
so.
does. Yeah, and so are there? So we noticed at the hotels there's some work going on in the streets. Some of the hotels, it looks like the Ramcota is kind of like real quiet right now.
Okay,
Did
yeah.
I don't know if they closed down for the.
They're not. They're open, and they're our biggest conference center in the area. So anytime there's big
At the
events
Ramcota.
or things, it's the Ramcota.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so we have a lot of groups coming in and out of there. So if it's a quiet week for them, it just is a fluke.
Yeah, exactly. We saw a lot of construction going on, so we didn't know if maybe that had an effect on where people parked anyway.
Oh, and it could be. They've got a big parking lot out back, but
Yeah.
we do have a lot of construction going on, which is
Yeah.
great because that means that we're growing and developing and maintaining and improving. So,
So
great things.
what type of businesses are coming or interested in coming to Pierre?
So when new businesses come in, they mostly work with our economic development corporation, and so we have a great Jim out at Petco does a lot of work on that, and we don't hear a lot of hush sometimes about some of the businesses,
Yeah.
but we have some great opportunities happening right down here where you mentioned the construction with new hotels
Yes,
and
yes.
cafes, and we've got apartments coming in.
Okay.
Right now, building in new housing and apartments is a big deal
big
for
demand.
our community because we're always looking for housing opportunities so that people can move here.
Right.
And we have a great interest in our healthcare that's always growing,
Sure.
and so that's important too.
Hospitality,
for our
healthcare.
Yes.
education. So we have
Absolutely. And government. Those are
and
our biggest
government.
employers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so in education, we don't have any higher education here, right? It's pretty much middle or elementary, middle, and high school. Is there higher or
There
any
is
extended
actually.
campus?
So we
Okay.
have CCC, it's Capital Area Campus.
Okay.
They offer a handful of courses at a really reduced, great rate for college credits, but they partner with Lake Area Tech
Okay.
for nursing, and so then the students actually do their nursing here
Wow.
in Pierre, so part of their
Wow.
degree. And they also partner with Dakota DWU,
Dakota Wesleyan.
Dakota Wesleyan, in order to bring out, we have I think 15 students who live and do their degrees here in Pierre, and they work with different businesses and organizations to get those very specialized business degrees in
Wow.
town.
Wow.
So yeah,
Wow.
we do actually have a few opportunities that are pretty cool.
That's sweet. So if someone was interested in coming to Pierre, maybe relocating their business from another state or in the state, but just from another town, would they call you? How would they go about that? What would be the invitation?
So, I mean, you're welcome to call the chamber. It's a great, easy number to find. And then I would send you on to Jim Protexter, who is our PEDCO, Pierre Economic Development
Okay.
Corporation.
How do you
and
spell
he works
Jim's
through
last
that.
name? Do you know?
Protexter,
P-R-O.
P-R-O-T-E-X-T-E-R.
Okay, that's good. With the Pierre Area
Chamber of Commerce.
Chamber of Commerce.
He's actually not with the Chamber of Commerce, but he's in the same building as us.
Okay.
So it's
okay.
PEDCO, Pierre Economic Development Corporation.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So he could talk to them about available
Yes.
locations, maybe,
Absolutely.
and all the other stuff. And so, really, that would be good connection for us in our
Yes.
commercial
Yes.
division as well to talk to him about
Absolutely.
what's available,
Yeah, he really keeps a pulse on the property that's available for businesses, and understands when a business needs certain amenities or things, and he knows exactly how to match them up with the right places and things like that. So he is, our go-to
He's the guy.
at PEDCO, yeah.
At one of our properties that we have listed here in Pierre is a nearly 18-acre acreage, brand new, nearly new home, and it's on ag zone land, so there's a lot of flexibility on what you can do. And we've had calls from people that are looking to start a kombucha company and make it and distribute it from Pierre, because they see that kind of as the center of the state, to go to Sioux Falls, to go to the hills, kind of natural center. And we've heard also from people that are training hunting dogs. A great place
Absolutely.
to be near the capital. And so
Absolutely.
what other type, I just was just curious about what other types of businesses are joining the Pierre or joining the chamber, that mostly service businesses like insurance companies and realtors and stuff like that, or do you have some surprises?
We do have a wide variety of businesses in Pierre, like you said, the insurance companies,
financial services,
financial services. We have a lot of hospitality in Pierre, like you mentioned before too. So between hoteliers, restaurants, even nonprofits into our museums and things like that, we have a lot of those opportunities here. And then we have a lot of things like boutiques, and that helps to serve visitors that are coming in and looking for fun gifts and things like that from the area. So we have boutiques, and then all of the necessary things that you would need to live in a town.
Cool little vibe going on downtown with some new coffee shops and things like that, little eateries.
Yes.
Yeah, I imagine there's probably some microbreweries and that kind of stuff popping up.
We do. I don't know. They're not a microbrewery, but we do have a nice distillery in town. That's really fun. So that's just right on the edge of town out here by our airport. So.
Oh, sweet, by the airport.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, so that's a whole nother area, part of Pierre, that if you weren't looking, you'd miss it.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
We love the airport too, by the way. That is so nice, and you've got nonstop. You have free parking, incredible.
Yes.
And nonstop to Denver.
Yes.
Right.
And then I think it's the end of this month. It'll be Denver and Minneapolis.
Oh, wow.
They're starting a route to Minneapolis, which will be great for us.
Yeah.
Because we have a lot of people in that region that like to travel back and forth to there too. So.
Yeah. So not just lobbyists. Right?
No. Yeah.
but other people doing business in South Dakota.
Well, and we pull a lot of hunters and fishers into
Yeah,
the area.
yeah.
And you mentioned, raising hunting dogs, and it makes a lot of sense because we do attract a lot for pheasant hunting and all the different kinds of hunting and fishing, walleye, bass. We have a lot of tournaments that even come into town because we have the Missouri River that's just beautiful right here.
It is gorgeous. There's some good fishing on that Missouri
Yes,
River.
yes.
Do you fish?
I do not fish, but I will eat it if somebody else does.
That's awesome. So I was coming in from the east on 14 and noticed by the Cattleman's Steakhouse.
Yes,
it's a pretty popular
iconic
spot.
place for some steaks.
It is the place that you want to go eat steaks here.
Yeah.
That there's a massive lodge being built just kind of just to the north of that, and maybe it's been there for a while, but it's some pretty impressive hunting lodges that are kind of tucked away in the landscape all around Pierre.
Well, and I wonder if you were seeing Outpost Lodge, because that's a really great, obviously I don't know, but
it's massive.
Yeah, it's a nice, an Outpost is that's when you're talking about. Great place to come with small groups, big groups, and have little retreats.
Another alternative to retreat center kind of thing.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, that's cool. There's a lot of good stuff there. So we've talked about the education in Pierre.
Yes.
We've talked a little bit about hospitality and its growth, and is that kind of cyclical? In the wintertime, things get busy because of the legislature's in session, right? The recreational traffic slows down a little bit, unless people are ice fishing, I guess.
We do have ice fishing, but normally locals. We see the locals out ice fishing. We don't.
It's not a big
once in a while we get calls for people wondering, but I wouldn't say that most people come in for winter sports here, but legislation gets really busy here.
Do you have like in the rental space for homes, businesses, stuff like that, where of the spaces that are available for different stuff, or is that going back to Pierre area economic development, or just to the local realtor? And
so you mean rental spaces for like
for
office
other
spaces?
Business offices or other businesses?
I do know that there are some, but that does head into our Petco area of where all those are. I wouldn't be able to tell you, but I do know that there are office spaces available already ready, in addition to, like we had already talked about, the land and things like that.
If someone wants to come and develop a new town center community kind of thing, would they go talk to Jim at Petco and
he would be one of your key people to talk to, and then between Jim and the city, of course.
Okay,
some of that.
To look at doing that. I know we have developers that are looking at South Dakota that are interested in, because we are growing and there is a demand. We need both affordable and luxury. It's an interesting dynamic, but to have both are attracted to South Dakota.
And we are feeling that, especially in our housing, that we have had a big influx in the last couple of years come in, and so it's always a priority of our city to try to not improve, but to add additional housing options, and so that is something that I know in the near future we're going to be seeing more construction, which is great. Growth. Construction means growth, so we'll be seeing some more of that.
Yeah, and as long as the city can handle that growth with roads and infrastructure, right? And I'm sure there's some planning in all of that.
And we're pretty fortunate, I think, or at least I feel we are. Our city does a really good job of handling and maintaining road spaces and things like that, so that as that growth happens, it doesn't take away from what's already established.
So what do you know what the unemployment rate is in Pierre? Is it kind of
off the top of my head? You said no hard questions. Off the top of my head, I don't know. I think that
we can look that up as a statistic, but I didn't know if I know that like in Sioux Falls it's 1.9%. So it's really skinny,
Well, that's what I'm feeling like. I don't want to misquote, but I feel like it's really low, but I can't off the top of my head.
And so we're looking to attract more people to all of our city centers, and oftentimes Rapid City will get noticed and be in the news, and Sioux Falls, of course, will be noticed and in the news, and then kind of it just sort of dissipates from there. So while Pierre is on our small town tour, it is a big deal to us, and it's our state capital. So we just wanted to be able to bring as much attention to Pierre and the opportunities here, both a great place to live and retire.
Absolutely, we've been in the top capital of the country, places to live for
Really?
a couple years, or top 3.
So,
Yes,
so that's
it's
that's
great.
a separate
Yeah.
index
Yes.
that I have not looked at. That's incredible.
Capitals in the U.S. to live in. Pierre is
Wow.
always towards the top, if not the top.
So if it's your
Yeah.
desire to live in the capital of a state, Pierre's in the top 3. That's pretty amazing.
Yes.
You want to come and check it out. Great people like Alicia. Alicia's been here for 7 years, and I've been in South Dakota since 2001. So
Okay.
that makes me a little bit, 20 plus years in South Dakota.
Okay.
Yeah, but I
Getting there.
I appreciate it. And you being a Coast Guard kid, is that?
Correct.
Yeah,
Yes. So I grew up Coast Guard. We, my husband and our kids ended up in Nebraska for several years, but we are about to beat my longest time living anywhere here in Pierre. So Pierre
Wow,
is going to become
congratulations.
soon
Wow.
my hometown,
Wow.
longest anywhere. Yeah, and
Got
happy about it. Love it
roots
here.
established.
So I know.
Yeah. What would be the one thing that people should know about coming to Pierre or visiting Pierre, or what makes Pierre so special, just from your personal perspective?
I think that the thing that makes it the most special is the people, honestly. Very tight-knit community, very much a sense of city spirit that we always find and support. Anytime there's a need in the community, our community rallies, and it's just amazing to see our businesses always rally behind the community and any needs that there are. And that's just in addition to obviously natural beauty. And my favorite things are spending my summers on the rivers and the trails and things like that. So it's just a beautiful place to live, and the people are amazing.
Do you go boating in the river?
Yes,
Oh,
anytime
good.
I
Okay.
can,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, so we noticed some trails and little parks, and
Yeah.
we went down, we were on an island.
Yes.
That was a pretty cool thing. It looks like a nice.
Yeah, La Feroy, or there's oh my goodness, I just went blank, but we have two islands in town.
So we were on the
Farm Island.
Farm Island, yeah.
Okay,
that's
Farm
where we
Island.
went, yeah.
Okay.
So that was super cool. So you guys, if you're really thinking about traveling, thinking about where you want to settle down, Pierre would be a great place to retire in,
It would be.
or to raise a family,
Both.
or do the whole thing.
I've raised
right?
my kids here. They were all elementary. They're all teenagers getting ready to start graduating high school now. So I've raised my family here, and I'm looking forward to retiring here.
And they're driving vehicles in
yes,
town. Yeah.
3 of the 4 are
That's
able
a
to
scary
drive. So
time.
that's not a good
Yeah.
that's not a good draw to bring people here.
It's going to happen. Listen, my kids, when we moved to South Dakota, we did some things with Habitat, and we were on mostly on farms, lots of acres, and my kids learned how to drive farm vehicles at 10 years old, 12 years old. They were driving farm vehicles on the farm, and that's a really great way to drive. They're super responsible drivers, and you'll find that not only in rural communities throughout South Dakota, but really throughout the United States, where kids, they get up early, they do their chores, they go to school, come back and usually finish chores, unless they're a town kid, right? And then some of them are working out on farms because it's so cool, or some of their classmates that have a farm or ranch. But there's a great sense of responsibility when you're doing this kind of thing. So we love that about living in rural America, and particularly in Pierre, in South Dakota in general.
In our ag community, I mean, that's one of our biggest industries, actually. It doesn't attract employment opportunities, but it's
Machinery's
an
kind of doing
established,
a lot of that.
it's an established, one of our, if not our biggest industry in Pierre. And not only are they our biggest industry, they're actually some of our, because we have farmers and ranchers, we're right on the cutoff between the farm and ranching. And so we have farmers, for instance, doing no-till plowing techniques and kind of leading that to help give back to our environment. And so what a great thing to be able to have farmers in the area that are farming but also educating and improving our environment. So
we manage about 14,000 acres in Davison, Aurora, Hutchinson, Lincoln, Minnehaha, and Sanborn counties. We're not out this far yet, but all of our tenants are into regenerative farming, and so no-till, putting back, taking that compacted earth and starting to break it up naturally, so that it can receive the nutrition and also deliver to the crops. So
and
a lot of that's happening in South Dakota.
And the eyes of the world are on South Dakota for those techniques, which is pretty neat. So.
The Staleys are a family that work with us, and they're at the top of the top of the game on that.
Yeah.
So it's super good. Well, we've had a great time visiting with Alicia here in Pierre. We've taken her away from her job to hang out with us on the lawn at the Capitol building on Pierre. But if you're thinking about coming to Pierre in the near future, Alicia is currently interim CEO at the Chamber of Commerce, but would that change into a permanent role? Are you up for the job? Or,
I mean,
or
I would love
who
that
knows?
opportunity.
Okay.
Right now, focusing on what I'm
Doing
able
what
to
you got.
do, but
Yeah.
I would love that opportunity if it came
Okay.
about. Yeah.
So if you're a person watching this that has any influence, I think Alicia would be a great candidate for the non-interim position of CEO. So for whatever that's worth, but it's been great. You've introduced us to the city. We know that it's growing.
Yes.
The government is not overreaching, but it is a major employer.
Yes.
Obviously, this is ground zero for state government.
Exactly.
And we were just on the heels of, there was a large
A rally.
rally today. Yeah, and so a lot of stuff is happening here. Be sure you make it to Pierre, South Dakota. Take time off of the Interstate 90 and come hang out up here. Fort Pierre is right next door. Fort Pierre is
Yes.
interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's got its own history,
Yeah.
right? It was here before.
Exactly. Yes.
Pierre.
Fort Pierre is actually older than Pierre.
1817, I
Yeah.
think I saw on the marker.
Yes.
We were being observant there.
And it's really great to be able to partner between the two cities. So,
Wow.
yeah, and have both those
Complimentary.
things. Yes.
Yeah,
I believe
things.
so. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So make it to Pierre, fish, hunt, hang out, stay, bring your convention here.
Yeah.
Bring your business here, bring your family here, and stay some days and really to get a full appreciation of
Yeah.
this place.
I agree.
Yeah, it's
Check
good.
out the Chamber of Commerce if you need information on what to do when you're here.
And you've got a friend at the Chamber of Commerce already. Thanks so much.
Say hello to the greatest tool to share your story with the world using Active Image by turning any 2D image into a 5D experience, enhancing your connection with the viewer in real time using augmented reality. Try it today, activeimage.com.